Today's video is none other than Lonzo R. Wilkinson, aka Stalker, aka Sgt.Stalker from G.I. Joe Classified series, and this is Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
Hey out there in action figure land, Sheriff back. Way I Got It Figured. Another G.I. Joe Classified review. This time, highly anticipated, long-awaited, super special character, Stalker, one of the 13 original Joe team members, officially called Sgt.Stalker for trademark reasons, but to me, he's just plain old Stalker. So here we have Stalker in his package with his multitude of accessories, which is, common for the classified line, with some artwork here, some more artwork on the side. I don't think it's Jay Lee, but it reminds me of Jay Lee. The version 2 poster on the back, and of course Stalker's skills and statistics. It's like intelligence, guns, small arms, medic, and translator. He's like only a one medic, I guess, 2 translator, 3 guns, 3 intelligence. Okay, sure, whatever. Stalker is one of the baddest guys in the valley. He is classified series number 46. We're gonna get him out of the package and take a look at the figure. Okay, so here's Stalker out of the package, and as you can see, the power of owning your brand is in sharp focus with the number of accessories he comes with. If you include the belt and the holsters, he comes with 13 accessories. That is a lot. I mean, he's probably coming with more, maybe an accessory too, more than the few G.I. Joe classified figures. And of course, they're all appropriate for the character. We got this extra gun here that doesn't really have anything to do with anything, but it's, definitely a nice inclusion. And I'm gonna go over the figure before we add his accessories. So here's Stalker with his classic uniform, and he doesn't have any shared parts, or not too many shared parts anyway, with any other classified figures that I'm aware of. This is the looks like going to be the body for the original Joes. The retro card of Snake Eyes is going to have basically the same body, and it's pinless, so we're out of the pins era at this point for G.I. Joe Classified, unless of course it's a redo or repaint. But all the classic articulation is there: waist swivel, thigh cut, boot cut, obviously your rocker ankles, your double jointed elbow, hand rotation, wrist swivel is limited. I thought one of the hands was supposed to be able to do the relaxed pose, but ab crunch, butterfly joints, he has a 2-stage neck can do some chicken neck. Peck. Let's go back to about there. One thing I want to point out is my copy, he's kind of on the loose side in terms of the legs. Not like falling apart loose, but as you can see, like normally there's no, most of my classified figures, there's no give. You can't do that. It doesn't normally, they don't move unless you move them. It's not affecting his ability to stand thus far though, so I'm not going to complain about it. It just means he's a little bit easier to pose for the time being. Now, I do want to get into the face. Stalker, I mean, this face is aged up considerably. Stalker's Duke are around the same age, so I don't know why they're sort of making it like Stalker's like this 60-year-old man or whatever, but Duke is like 20-something. I don't like it. I'm not going to say it detracts from the figure or the portrait. The portrait's fine. It's a great portrait. I just think that, they're all supposed to exist in the same time. This version of Stalker reminds me of Sergeant Johnson from Halo, so I don't know. So I would like him to have a younger face, but it is what it is. Stalker, holds a special place for a lot of people. For me, he was one of the first Joes I ever got. For Christmas, I had gotten 2 Stalkers because I got them for Christmas. Plus, somebody gave me a gift of Stalker, and with the Ram cycle. So I had 2 Stalkers and 2 Ram cycles in the Christmas of 83 rather. It was the Christmas of 83. So one of my Stalkers had the straight arm, and the other Stalker had the swivel arm. So I had both. Stalker as a character is also well loved by the fans. In the comic book, he often served as sort of like the wisdom element. Larry Hama would give him sort of philosophical things to say about loyalty and in the military and that kind of thing. And of course, he has ties to Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, being in their unit, and actually the commanding officer, so to speak. He's not an officer; he's a sergeant, but he was the leader of their unit, the Long Range Recon Patrol in Southeast Asia. I think we can do away with the Southeast Asia part, given where we are in life. Stalker would be like 79, almost 80 years old at this point. But they served together early in their careers. Of course, he was like a gang member, and he told his mom that he worked as a translator, and would never tell her that he was a ranger doing combat missions. He didn't want to worry her because of his brothers and him being gang members in Detroit. So, being one of the longest running, he's actually the other thing is he's the actual first recruit to the G.I. Joe team. So when General Flag and Hawk put together the Joe team, Stalker was the first recruit, and then in turn Stalker recruited Snake Eyes, had Hawk go get Snake Eyes for the team. He served as the field leader for missions when Hawk wasn't there. Up until they introduced Duke, who was the first sergeant of the team. So I guess you can almost say that Stalker was the acting first sergeant of the Joe team in the earliest issues. So he's gonna equip him with his M32 pulverizer first, just so we can kind of see him with that configuration. I've seen a couple reviews where a lot of people stick this gun in here, but it's not for that gun. It's actually for the M32-ish pulverizer. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in here, and it has the thing to store the clip. Another great thing about G.I. Joe Classified is the weapon storage that they build into all the figures. That is absolutely one of my favorite things. By having it be that all or most of their gear can be stored on the figure without extraneous pieces. This machine gun has a magazine that you can attach here. Not easily, not because it doesn't work, because I'm fumble fingers today. So due to my ineptitude, we might not be able to store all of his stuff, just because I can't seem to get it in here, and we gotta move on. Okay, so real quick, I did get the clip in his gun. It actually goes on the bottom there. Just wanted to make sure that I, had everything with the figure correctly installed. It was kind of bothering me. So yeah, there you go. But the magazine is indeed meant to clip inside the machine gun. Of course, he's got his beret on now. Oh, there was one thing I'd like to mention here. So I like how they got the scar here. He has a scar here. And a lot of people, obviously, when they do their reviews, they point out the scar. But I think it's interesting what Hasbro's doing. So, the original G.I. Joe, who we know now as Joseph Colton, had a scar on his cheek. It was an actual trait of G.I. Joe to have a scar on his cheek. And now, all the characters that are what I would call exemplary of G.I. Joe, they now have a scar somewhere on their head. This one being on Stalker's head. Duke has a scar on his face. Flint has a scar. And of course, Snake Eyes is all scarred. So so it's interesting that the exemplary characters of G.I. Joe all have scars. Stalker being one of those guys. It puts him in a pretty cool club. Oh yeah, sorry. Of course, the other reason I took his head off was to put on his scarf. This scarf also comes with the second version, or the new version, of Snake Eyes and Timber. It's pretty cool, but the way it goes on the belt here, I'm going to do everything all up here. It kind of, you know, it's plastic, so it kind of bunches up, and it has to, it's just physics. But you know, it looks cool. I think on that new Snake Eyes, I may take off his harness and put this on there. In which case means I won't display Stalker generally with this on. It'll be for Snake Eyes. But it's a cool accessory. I do like it. I just think that I prefer Stalker in his just uniform, normal uniform. So I'm gonna do some posing. D Amazing did a great job of posing Stalker in his videos, in his video he did for this figure. You know, he's pretty excellent at posing, so shout out to him. I would just say check out his video if you want super duper posing. I'm gonna pose him, but more for video's sake than anything else. Go. Had him. There we go. There's Stalker posed up with most of his accessories. I also like that he has the hole here so you can use blast effects with that gun. Might be able to do it with the pulverizer too. Alright, so final thoughts. Sgt.Stalker, aka Lonzo Wilkinson, aka Stalker, is a long-awaited figure and is all that in a bag of chips. Like I said, no figure is perfect, but I'm still gonna give him a 10. He's a character that I have a lot of sentimental attachment to. He's one of the original Joes. He's one of the best Joes, and I've been waiting for him for a long time. They definitely knocked him out of the park. The only repaint I can see of them doing is maybe him in cartoon colors, and I'll be honest, if they do him in cartoon colors, I'll probably buy that one too. So that means I just have 2 Stalkers. Oh well. What are we gonna do? All right, so yeah, way I got it figured, Stalker's getting a 10. So I'm gonna sign off from there. If you guys like the content, please subscribe, give me a like, and leave a comment. I got more G.I. Joe Classified coming up, and along with Marvel Legends, Transformers, and some WWE figures sprinkled out through there, here and there. A little bit of Motu too. So until then, thank you for watching, and everybody stay safe out there. Peace.